Hello, welcome back to the BJONESSTYLE channel. We are in my studio because we're doing our really fun mashup video, which is a get ready with me. I'm gonna put my makeup on. We're gonna do more of a fall face today, pop the eye with some of this green goodness that I have going on. And we're also gonna talk about a lot of the things that are inspiring me right now, different trends that I'm loving. We're gonna look at some street style. We're gonna look at a few collections that I'm loving. Also, some behind the scenes videos from Gucci and a few fashion editorials. So get ready to get ready with me, but also just absorb and take on all the inspiration that's coming your way. First up, gonna start with my Huge. I'm gonna start with my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation. I've heard from a few of you that you've gotten this. I'm actually working out of a new bottle because I have to replace this baby because I love it so much. So, okay, so I am going to start doing up my face, doing my foundation, and while I do, I'm gonna start talking through some of what I'm seeing, you know, street style, all the things that I am loving, and we are in the midst currently of fashion month. So we have everything happening it happened already in New York, London, I think we're going to Milan next, and then of course Paris is, I think, last, right? So I've been loving staying on top of all of the street style that I'm seeing happen during fashion month. It's just so much fun, and it was missed, and I'm happy it's back. But we're gonna focus today on New York because I feel like that's the one that I've really seen more of the images from. And you know what, we're here in the US, so let's celebrate New York City and all of the fabulousness that paraded down the streets of New York Fashion Week. Let's start with this image right here. This is, to me, the epitome of always play dress up. I mean, she has that incredible voluminous floral skirt. I think I want to say the designer is Jonathan Rogers or Christopher Rogers. I'm going to look it up and it's going to be here on the screen of what the designer is that she's wearing. But that amazing floral skirt. And then she's got on, I love how she did the mix of the athleisure with this celebratory skirt. She's got on her Nike simple tank, and then she went all out with that incredible necklace. I loved that. This is Chloe King. I know she worked for a long time, I want to say, with Neiman Marcus. I'm not sure if she's still with them, but she is Chloe for Days on Instagram. You can follow her. She's got such incredible style. It's always play dress up to the max, and I feel like she just embodies always play dress up. Next up is this menswear. And the thing that I am loving about this, and I'm noticing this a lot, is this idea of, it's almost the macrame that we all were obsessed with for our homes there for a while. It's taking that idea of crochet and macrame and then using it as a layering piece. I've been seeing this more and more. There are some pieces like this from the 70s, and then they're bringing it back, which I love, and reinterpreting it in new ways. And I love how he has such essential classics on with this white button down, super crisp, and then he's got it paired with just some great classic chino pants, a little bit more of the caramely color, which I love. It's so classic looking. And then he layered over this macrame style sweater vest situation. So it's basically stripping down this sweater vest into these more simplified pieces. And so I think this, if you're a big crafter, go for it, make one of your own. I am not a crafter, so I will probably keep my eye out for something, maybe have someone that I know how to craft make something like that. But also a great idea to just search on Gem for different style kind of netting options to do layering with. Put on the Airbrush Flawless Foundation. That's really hard to say. And now I'm moving on to doing my concealing. I again use Charlotte Tilbury Magic Away Liquid Concealer. I use the 5.5. This is actually brand new as well. It's a twisty type, so it's got this little sponge on the top, and when you first get the new one, you got to kind of twist it until you start seeing the product come through. I'm going to start covering up just some blemishes, tapping it on. And while I do, I want to talk about this next look. I feel like this was one that just, to me, popped off the screen. everything about this. It's not that it's so many different pieces that are, you know, complicated. It's so simple yet so chic and fabulous at the same time. This is also a perfect example of something to wear in this September shift for us here in California. Those hot days linger into, you know, October, November. So I am always trying to figure out, like, how do I dress up fall when it's so hot outside? And so I feel like this look is that perfect September shift look where she's wearing this incredible corset, white corset top. It just cinches her in perfectly. It looks amazing, very, you know, Bridgerton inspired. And then I love that she paired it with these green, not full on army green, like less olive. It's got a little bit more of a Kelly green tone in it as well. And I love that. And it's just that cargo pant. And then she's got her hair so fabulous. And then she's got just some really classic charm necklace details right there at the neckline. And she's got, oh, those red lips are just popping off the screen as well. So it's about all of those statement pieces coming together, mixing something, you know, like a corset, kind of extra fab that you might want to dress up for evening with something really daytime, like a great cargo pant. Finished up the concealer just on the blemishes, and before I do my kind of under eye concealer moment, I go in with the Charlotte Tilbury, I think I did this last time, I forget what this is. It's basically a pink little palette here that you put under your eyes just to eliminate, you know, some of that blue, some of those dark circles. So I just go in and tap that under my eyes. And while I'm doing that, and we were speaking about those green pants, I also noticed this incredible look from New York Fashion Week that's all about green. I love this. Another perfect September shift look where, you know, this isn't full summer mode, but this is also still while it's warm, and she's just got head to toe green on, but she did like a mix of different greens, and I feel like that's what made this so great. She's got those really Kelly green pants on, and then it looks like it could even be like a PJ top or a little bit of a printed green top in more of a pistachio green, and she's got just like one button buttoned. I love that, where it's then open and flowing kind of from there. And then she even has that incredible pop green bag with this, and then she chose to do, it looks like some kind of clear jelly shoes. They actually remind me of some Melissa shoes that I have, and I love that she mixes in that kind of black contrasting and clear with all of that green. Also, I forgot to mention, I took off my second earring because I realized it was clinking and making noise. So if you notice that the earrings are different, it's because I removed one so that you weren't distracted by the clinking of the earrings. But let's move on to doing the concealer under the eye. I do a slight contour, and so I just tap, you know, to kind of create a little bit of the lightness that I want. And I also just wanted to chat about another menswear look that I'm loving, and it is really funny. I'm noticing that so many of the looks that I picked have elements of green in it. I guess I'm just really feeling green for fall, but I love this. I mean, it's not head to toe because I can't see it head to toe, but to me it's head to toe magic, and you can just tell like this is all perfection. This definitely has elements of Gucci in it, so you know I love it. But I love that he has on this button down with like little fringe, almost detailing where it would be like a tuxedo, like an old 70s tuxedo, but it's fringe, so it adds some Western flair, which I love. And he's got opened and button. He has on so much gaudy gold. I love it, that super tight, thick gaudy gold chain, and then just that great, more of a hunter's green, a classic hunter's green blazer, but then he threw on a brooch. Brooches are my thing right now. I just feel like if you're like bored with your outfit, throw a brooch onto it. You have a blazer on, throw a brooch. Have a shirt, throw a brooch. Have a vest, throw a brooch. So I'm all about the brooches. So he's got that great brooch on. And then of course the extra piece of cherry on top that I love is he's got, you know, the headscarf wrapped around, and he's got those great, just super contrasting white shades with the look. We are now moving on to the brows. I first just go in with a spoolie brush and fluff them up. I've mentioned this before, but I actually don't do anything to my brows in terms of, I mean, I might pluck a stray hair, which I probably should clean them up better, but kind of like them to be as natural as possible. So do that first, and then I'm gonna take just the edge. So I have a spoolie that has both sides on it. I'm gonna take the edge and I go in with my Maybelline Nudes palette. It's got just great browns in it. I put a little bit of eyeshadow on that angled brush, and then I just brush some, you know, very simple little additions to the eyebrow just to fill them in a little bit in more of a natural way. And I think this might be my last, ooh, maybe not my last, but my maybe second to last and really magical look from Fashion Week that I really thought was so great. This is definitely, you can tell, a lot of incredible designer pieces, but I loved this close-up shot of this woman in this really exaggerated white shirt. It almost looks like it has like a balloon sleeve. I don't know if it does or if it's just kind of more oversized on her, but I really loved it. I loved the creamy shade of it. And then she has it just buttoned right there at the neckline, which that was kind of unique. And it looks like she has on an intricate bra, almost could be metal or something really cool right there. And then, I mean, for me, it's all about the addition of this vest with some of the detailing on it. It looks like it's Prada, so it's got like little Prada keychain kind of thing hanging off. And then she's got on that denim where the waistline is detached from each other, so it's really eye-catching and unique. And then she's got her sunglasses looped on her pants. So I just feel like there were so many little details to this look that, you know, from far away it looks like, oh, it's just a button down with, you know, a vest over it, but then you really look and you're like, oh, there's so many unique details. And I like that idea of just buttoning the top button and then having something unique under it, even if it's more of like a corset, or you could do a camisole, or in this case, like an interesting bralette or something like that. I loved it. And then of course, I'm just all about the vests right now. So throwing on that vest, and if you wanted to even do like a watch chain, like a vintage watch chain or a brooch, something that has extra detailing to it, I think that could be so unique and interesting. So I've brushed through the hairs, and then I'm just gonna go back in and fluff them out a little bit more. I also feel like let's end New York Fashion Week on a bang, and also just know that you can go to my links down below. I've linked these on my Street Parade board in Pinterest. So you can go there and see all these images, see where they come from, so you can find even more images of things that connect for you and your personal style. And also if they have the name of the person who's featured in the photo, then you can maybe find them on Instagram, that kind of stuff if you want to follow them. There's so many more images. I really am just picking like a very small microcosm. These are the things that really stood out to me and got me excited, and honestly there's so much more that did, and you can go to that Pinterest board and see more of the looks that I really liked. But I also didn't want to ramble on too much about one subject. And next up, I'm going to do my brow gel, and I wanted to tell you, so I have been diving into Beautycounter. If you don't know who Beautycounter is, it's a great makeup and skincare brand that's all about clean beauty. So they highly test everything. They make sure everything is super natural with their products. So I've been really trying out more and more, and you'll hear me reference them because I'm really falling in love with their products. I feel like right now I kind of use like Charlotte Tilbury and Beautycounter. So, and I did want to mention they have a code if you're interested in any of the products that you see that I use today or other products. Clean for all 20. Clean for all 20. You'll get 20% off any of your products. Also, if you become a member, I think you get a really great package with their charcoal mask, which I've used for years and I'm obsessed with it, especially for my like breakout spots. I just cover it up at night. So I don't pick at it a lot of times, and also just leave it alone and let it kind of heal overnight with that. So again, it's clean for all 20, and it's right here, and you get 20% off. And if you have any questions about any of the products, just let me know. But I'm gonna dive into my brows, and I did wanna mention my last Fashion Week look that I wanted to highlight, and I just love this. This to me references, you know, the party time theme that we embraced in the summer, but really party time is all the time. And I love this look with this sequin feather tank top. Ah! and denim, and she's got on these really fun, playful necklaces. It's such a fun mix of like high, low, kitschy, cute, fabulous party. I love it so much. It's such a wearable look for the daytime. You can wear sequins in the day, and I am having a full-on Studio 54 moment. If you saw my video last week of all of the trends that I'm loving and all the characters, to me this is a great way to kind of tease the Studio 54 look without going, you know, full head to toe Studio 54. And I love that it has feathers. Again, I am having a moment with feathers. I'm loving them so much. And so I love that this sequin top has feathers on it. So I think you should do a great search on Gem or any of the sites to find something like a party top with feathers. And I love this one with the sequins. It's such a good time. So I love this inspiration. It just felt like a great way to throw a party on the street. I'm just gonna finish up my brows, and while I'm doing that, I'm gonna jump into, while we're on the subject of feathers, I wanted to dive into my love of feathers right now. You may have seen when I was in Las Vegas, I wore a boa, and this is definitely inspired by what Gucci has been doing, and in particular Harry Styles. So let's just look at a few images of him and how he's been wearing the boa, and I just love it. To me, it's such a showstopper. It's this fun pop on an outfit. I love that he wore it with this leather jacket and pants, and then just threw on this kind of, it's like a pistachio green boa. I just thought it was so much fun. And so I'm all about the boas right now. I'm, in particular, if you are gonna look for one, I would suggest looking for ostrich feather style. It's very fluffy and kind of creates more of that like dramatic feel versus like a costume for Halloween and you have the, like the chunkier feathers. Just, that's my suggestion. And if you look at the Gucci inspiration from, this was Resort 2021, that's kind of where it started, and I just love this red, you know, boa right there. So I think we're entering the season where you can wear a boa, you know? It's, the holiday season is coming up. Parties are happening. Here at Always Play Dress Up, we know that you don't need an excuse to throw on a boa, but there, if you want an excuse, the holiday season is coming. And just a note, the product I was using is the Beautycounter Brow Gel. I use a medium. I like a little bit of a darker brow, but I know they have other options for you, and this will be linked down below as well. Let's move on to the eyes, and I think I'm gonna work on a little bit of a fall eye because, you know, we're in fall. And so, I mean, I always go with a little bit of a base of some browns, but I'm gonna pop it up with some green today. I'm loving green. I have a green tie on. We talked about a lot of green, and so I'm gonna pop the eye with some green as well. Zoomed in a little bit so we can focus on the eye. First thing I'm gonna use, and okay, in October, there's going to be more of these, but this is my absolute favorite product from Beautycounter. This is their Color Pinch Cream Blusher. They are out of stock because they're so good, but they're replenishing colors in October. So stay tuned. This is my favorite product, and I've been using this on my eyes. I've been using it for contour. I use it for blush. You can go back to my last video and see how I used it there. But I am gonna start with this. I'm going to put the name of the product down below so that if you are watching this later in October, you can actually buy this, or other colors, because I gotta get a few of them. Anyways, I'm gonna start with that on my eyes. It's a caramel color, and I like that it's like a cream base. Kind of adds, you know, something sticky and tacky a little bit to the eye so that I can put on more product, and the product will stick on my eye. And this is a little bit of a different thing to chat about, but I was on the Gucci website recently, and there is some behind the scenes video footage from the Aria campaign. And I found this such an inspiring video, mainly because it's just all the little details that Alessandro Michele, I hope I'm saying that right, just everything about him and kind of what he does with Gucci and the whole aesthetic of Gucci. And so I just loved watching this video, and I actually screenshotted some of the images from the video that really kind of spoke to me, and I just wanted to point out the things that spoke to me. And then I've actually saved these images for you in Pinterest, so you can pin them if you want to. So I did the cream blusher onto my eye, and then again, my favorite palette, Maybelline Nudes of New York. I love it. It's just all the great neutrals that are just my go-tos. And so I'm going to start with a little bit of a caramely color as the base to just add some definition to the eye. But let's start with some of the images. Just Alessandro himself is so inspiring, and I love just the way he dresses is kind of, in some way he's very casual, but it's little details of his outfits that really stand out to me. So in particular, just this image of him, it's the little details to me that really capture my eye. But he's got on just this kind of casual, it almost looks like a plaid button down, but then if you notice, he's got like a bejeweled necklace on the outside of the collar. I think that's something I'm noticing a lot, is using necklaces not just on the skin of the neck or not just hanging over things, but like right there under the neck. You know, if you've got a collared shirt on, putting it under the neck, I think is a really interesting little detail. I love that he also is just wearing like a ball cap, and then he's got on his blazer, wearing it over his shoulders, just kind of effortless and cool. And then even like this little detail where you're seeing his hand, I love that he's got rings on all his fingers. It's so interesting. And then really unique and cool bracelets on his wrists. I just think that's a fun little detail. You know, I'm a big fan of the repeating accessory. So I did the caramely color all over my whole lid. I'm just gonna define it a little bit more with a deeper tone, just so you can kind of see the palette. So first I used this color here. Now I'm gonna go in with a little bit of a darker tone just on the corners and around the edges to, you know, define and highlight the eye. And then hopping back into Aria, this image that he's styling a look for the fall runway, and the netting over the face like that. And then I'm sure there's some kind of clasp there in the back. But I love that idea for kind of a fabulous party look. Even, you know, we have Halloween coming up, so thinking about like how could you use that for Halloween, and then also just, you know, with New Year's Eve, Christmas parties. I'm a November birthday, so my birthday, but the idea of maybe adding like netting over your kind of face in this very mysterious way, and then having like a vintage brooch in the back. I think that's such a fun idea. So I'm loving that extra detail. And then this is something else that I'm loving. I wish I could see more of this girl's look, but she seems to be kind of on the team of Gucci. And I love her hair color, first of all, but I also love the jacket she has on, has patches all over it. I'm really loving patches right now. I added a patch onto the look for the off-duty royal with that tweed Anne Klein blazer, and then just added like a patch. But I love the idea of going to the flea market and finding a lot of unique patches and then putting them all over some kind of a blazer or a jacket. In this case, she has it on something red. I love that. It's probably Gucci, but I feel like that's something you can make for yourself. And then one other image that really spoke to me, because the interior made me kind of really excited, and this is definitely inspiration for me with interiors, but I love this image of them sitting in, it looks like the Gucci offices, and it's like white, but then they've got these pops of green and blue throughout this space. I love what they're wearing, and then these great luxe chairs with velvet detailing in this peachy tone, and then they have just incredible rugs on the ground, but at the same time there's like sparsity to it. It's not over the top of maximalism. It's like a toned down maximalism, and I really was so inspired by that. Before I add the green, I then am going to go in with this bronze garnet, Charlotte Tilbury. It's called the color Chameleon. It's like a thick eye pencil, and I like to actually go under, like make a little bit of a smoky eye under my eye, and then around the rim of my eye, keeping it pretty kind of not perfect and just smudgy. And so again, just go up under the eye and then around the rim. And then what I do is, as you can tell, nothing about it looks perfect. I go in with a little bit of an angled brush and kind of fluff it out, smudge it up, spread it out. It adds a little bit of a shine to it. It's like a bronze with some flecks of light in it. So I really like that. It kind of adds some drama to the eye. And like smudge it out on the corner there, bring it down up under, let it be pretty, even messy is fine, because you always can just clean it up afterwards. So that is what I do next. And then we're gonna finish with this really fun green. This is called the Ombre Green. This is the Lid Glow Cream Shadow from Beautycounter, and I love, let me show you, I love that amazing green pop. And then I just wanted to dive a little bit further into some collections that I'm loving for fall, and we definitely talked about a lot of this. I put it actually on my hand, and then I like tap my finger into it, and then I just tap it on top of the eye. Oh my gosh, look at that, such a fun green pop. Oh my goodness. Amazing. But I wanted to dive into first Tory Burch. I mentioned a collection when I talked about the Bianca Jet Setter, but I just loved this whole collection. It's very 70s, but then it has a little bit of, I think, some early 80s references. It reminds me a little bit. There's looks that are very Bianca and very tailored and all the suiting, but then it has elements of almost Diane Keaton in Hannah and Her Sisters, where there's like chunky socks with these clog style Mary Jane shoes. So yes, I'm loving this look that's got this blue skirt suit look with the dagger collar. She's got on a turtleneck under it. I love that layering detail. And then these white boots. I love these white boots as like a pop to the look. But then in terms of some of those more Diane Keaton inspired looks, I love, like you can see here, this very piled up. This also reminds me of the Metropolitan Maximalist that we dove into some in the winter, but that idea of throwing on some sweatpants, there's big chunky socks, again, those like clog style Mary Janes, and then she's got on this huge coat and a massive big scarf. This is definitely something that you want to consider more in those winter months when it's actually very cold. You can kind of see the green. I'm really loving it, but I'm just gonna add one more little layer with the brush, like tap, 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 and then tap, 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 all over the lid. And then we're gonna one more time, you know, do some tapping on the lid to really get that like jewel tone popping on the eye. I love this so much. This is such a fun way to kind of add some color to your lid, to your eye for fall. And it's just, I don't know, I'm really having fun with it. So Tory Burch, you can click the link down below to check out more about her collection because I'm a huge fan. But we do have to dive into one more that I'm also really loving. And this was something that we talked a lot about with the Studio 54 icon, but I wanted to dive into this one a little bit further. And before we dive in, what I'm gonna do is just go in with a little bit more of a pointy brush to define the inner eye and around the eyebrows. And I'm gonna use, again, the New York Nudes palette, and I'm gonna use a little bit of a shimmery, creamy color to go in there in the corners. But the collection that I wanted to talk about is Saint Laurent. It was so good. I'm in love with this whole look. I love that it's this weird mix of like 70s Secretary goes to Studio 54, because there's a lot of, you know, the sweater vest, the dagger collar, but then it's paired with silver, super short skirts and like sheer tights and then bling necklines. Oh my goodness. And then I love the idea of like a massive fuzzy fur with a silver bodysuit and tights and a belt on it. To me, this is like, if you have something fabulous to go for, you should pull out Saint Laurent and use them as inspiration because it's just so good. This look in particular, this is sequined hot pants with a sequined blazer with a white bow tie blouse, and then she's got sheer tights on, and then she has a gaudy gold belt right around her waist. And I might need either to celebrate my birthday looking like this, or I might need to ring in the new year looking like this, because this is like the most fun party inspiration you can imagine. Okay, the eyes are all smoked out. They're all done. I'm gonna kind of do a little bit of cleaning up around the eye. Go a little bit underneath. And then I like to go back in with my, oh, this is the Beautycounter Better Blender Splun. oh my gosh, sponge that I really love. And then I'm gonna go in with my mascara. And I'm so excited because I just got the Better Black all-in-one mascara from Beautycounter. This is so, like, even you just see how it pops out, it like, the texture of this is not super gloppy. Is that a word, gloppy? I feel like it is. Like with mascara, it gets all goopy and gloppy. And I love this, it just glides on. It's so amazing. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that on. And then I wanted to share an editorial I'm really excited about. This is from Harper's Bazaar Greece. And basically, it's really fun to see the inspiration and the characters that kind of came to my mind for fall are now being interpreted through editorials as well. And this is one that is for sure the Ranch Heiress. It's almost a combo of the Ranch Heiress and the Off-Duty Royal because there's definitely equestrian elements to it, but it's more of that Western look. I love that there's just knits and fuzzy furs, and we've got incredible sweater vest that we're working with. Also just loving this look that's all leather with then some shearling detail of the leather pants, but then with the leather jacket that has that really great shearling detail in it. A little bit of a flight jacket look. And then even this kind of final look with the pants tucked into these very slouchy boots. It's almost like 70s, 80s combo. And then this kind of fabulous shirt with a deep V, very sassy, you know, this is the Ranch Heiress going to a party, but I loved this, and I loved seeing the inspiration of the Ranch Heiress actually on a ranch, like with, you know, the real atmosphere behind it to really set it off. Eyes are all done. The last things that I'm gonna do is just kind of amp up the cheeks. I'm gonna use that Color Pinch cream blusher. I've lost the color of summer, so I definitely amp this up even more. And I like to use this circle end of the Better Blender sponge because it really helps to kind of blend it all out there all over the cheeks. And I like to really get there on the apple of the cheek and then bring it up into the hairline so that it, you know, it looks all natural-ish looking, and that's all that fun color. And then just to add one little pop of some pinky red, just because I'm wearing some pink today. This is Charlotte Tilbury's Cheek Chic, and this is Sex on Fire. And I'm going to just kind of very lightly add a little bit right there on my cheeks to kind of just amp up the cheek a little bit. Almost done. All right, gonna finish it all up with my lips. I have a new little combo. I'm still using my Stoned Rose from Charlotte Tilbury. It's my favorite, but I've been doing this new liner with it, which is Am I Kiss. I'm gonna put it on, and then I'm gonna talk about one last thing. It's hard to talk and do my lips at the same time. So it's a little bit more red with some rose tint to it. I like it combined with the Stone Rose, which has more of a brown tone, to add, you know, some more rose pinky color to the brown tone of Stoned Rose. Just adds a little bit more of that colorful pop, less bronzed for summer. And one last editorial that has me so excited. Again, it's so much fun because this is the Studio 54 character that we created, and it's fun to see it interpreted in all different ways with this amazing editorial. This is out of, let's see, El China. And first you just notice that makeup is amazing. I love the blue pop and then that red lip, but then it's all about the fun saturated colors. We have tons of feathers. We've got huge statement earrings. I'm loving this pink kind of feathery detail with like little pops of pearls and then more sequins. I love this look with like this incredible kind of furry feathery jacket with some red velvet pants. It's so incredible. And then this dress, I can't even figure out what's happening. It's so cool. It's like it has a red sweater angled. I can't tell if it's a dress or like a sweater. Maybe you could even cut a sweater to look like that. That's so amazing. I just love this. This is the Studio 54 icon. It's so inspirational. So it's so much fun to see more interpretations of these characters that we created for fall. And here they are, and they're doing all their amazing editorials, and we're seeing it come to life in all new ways with all new ways to be inspired. And that is it. That is my face for today. And that is all of the things that are inspiring me right now. I love to dive into the editorials, to the street style from New York Fashion Week, some of the collections that I'm really loving, and of course also looking at the behind the scenes video from Gucci, which is amazing. All of this will be linked down below, so you guys can watch this video and then hit those links and go check out more and get more inspiration for yourselves. But this is such a fun way to just be able to have this chat with you in a fun way of putting on my makeup and hanging out together and just inspiring each other. So thank you so much for watching. Again, I'm going to link all of the products that I use down below as well. And I will remind you that if you shop any of the Beautycounter products, you get 20% off with the Clean for All 20 code. So make sure you use that because you can get 20% off. And finally, I just want to say, give this video a thumbs up if you like it. You can subscribe to my channel. I have new videos on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And finally, always play dress up, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!